Here's how to keep a high rating as a rideshare passenger. What? You think only the drivers get ratings? Hey there, everyone. It's Jeff, and I will never forget the day I learned that I, as a rider, have an Uber rating. It's true. Just keep listening, because this is Plain English, where you get to listen to stories in English and get your brain thinking in your new language. That's our promise here at Plain English every Monday and Thursday. And as you can hear, the audio goes just a bit slower than normal speed to help you catch every word. But even so, you might want to read the transcript of the episode. And you're in luck, because the transcript is free online at plainenglish.com/789. That's because this is episode 789 of Plain English. So all the learning resources, transcript, translations, quiz, exercises, and the fast version of the audio, it's all at plainenglish.com/789. And as you know, every episode has a story. And today's story is all about how to keep up your high rating as a rideshare passenger. Uber, Didi, Lyft, Bolt, InDrive, Scotty, whatever you use, the drivers rate you. And if you have a high rating, your life will just be a lot better. So listen to today's story, and you'll learn how to keep a high rating as a rider. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. If you use rideshare apps like Uber, Didi, Lyft, Bolt, and InDrive, you've probably been prompted to give the driver a rating. But what you might not know is that drivers also rate the passengers. What the platforms do with that rating can vary. At the very least, the platforms can suspend or cancel the accounts of riders who routinely get low ratings. But many platforms, including Uber, let drivers see the passenger ratings when they're prompted to accept a ride. That means that drivers have the option to decline a ride if the passenger has a low rating. From the passenger's standpoint, then, a high rating means lower wait times and probably lower prices in the long run. So what's your rating? Not all platforms show it to all customers, but Uber does. Uber says that your rating is the average of your last 500 rides. Curious what your rating is? Just find the account tab in your app and you'll see the number just below your name. Mine is 4.90. You have to dig a little bit, but you can also find the distribution of your last 500 ratings. Here's what mine says. I've had 473 5-star ratings and a handful of 4 and 3-star rides. But to my horror, I also discovered that I have 5 1-star ratings. 1% of my Uber drivers have rated me, 1 star. I've never behaved in a 1-star way. But let's just chalk that up to drivers who were in a bad mood. The average rating is about 4.89, so I'm just about average. Most drivers say that 4.92 and above is excellent. 4.8 is pretty good. Drivers often think twice before accepting a ride from someone with a 4.7. And if your rating is 4.6 or below, then you're a real problem. Now, I'm feeling a little down about my rating. I mean, I want to be above average. So I did a little research into how to earn 5-star ratings from drivers. Here's what I found. Let's start at the beginning of the ride. You should request a ride when you're ready to get in the car. Drivers earn very little while they wait for you to get ready. It can also be uncomfortable for them to wait on a busy street when there's a lot of other traffic. Drivers say they'll give low ratings to riders if they have to wait more than a minute or 2. When you're in the car, be courteous. You can say your name when you get in. That lets the driver know you're the right person. You should always be polite and courteous to the driver. Most drivers do appreciate a little bit of conversation. But here's a tip. Don't mention how cheap your ride was. That only reminds them of how little they're earning. If you want to make a phone call, ask the driver if it's okay first. They'll almost always say yes, but they appreciate being asked. Don't use a speakerphone. Try to keep the call short. If you're with another person, talk in a lower voice. Remember that the driver is at work, and the driver is responsible for everyone's safety. Speaking of safety, you should follow all the laws, and don't ask the driver to break or bend the rules. If you have a small child, you have to supply your own car seat. Drivers can refuse rides from parents with small children if the parent doesn't have a car seat or a booster seat. They don't always cancel the ride, but they do often give low ratings to riders who put them in an uncomfortable or risky situation. Don't tell the driver to hurry up. Don't tell the driver to speed, roll through a red light, or otherwise do anything illegal. If you know the route well, you can give the driver a little advice on how to get to your destination, but they don't like you giving turn-by-turn directions from the back seat. If you're a group of 5, you can't fit in a standard car because there aren't enough seatbelts. It's against Uber's regulations and often against the law for there to be more people than seatbelts. So don't ask the driver to go along with it. And speaking of seatbelts, it's there for you to wear. Seatbelt use can vary by country and culture, but Uber strongly recommends it. Drivers strongly prefer it, even in areas without widespread seatbelt use. They might not ask you to put on your seatbelt, but they might knock off a star if you don't buckle up. Drivers understand that people use rideshare apps to avoid drinking, and driving. Many drivers on the roads on Friday and Saturday nights cater specifically to people going out. But that doesn't mean you can bring the party into the car. Absolutely do not take open containers of alcohol in the car. In many places, the driver can get in trouble or even arrested if a passenger does that. You shouldn't bring an open beer bottle into a car, but you probably shouldn't bring any food or beverage in the car. Drivers say they're annoyed by passengers who eat and drink in the back seat. Even if you're careful, there's always the chance that you might spill something, and it makes the drivers nervous. And absolutely do not smoke in the car. Don't smoke right before getting in the car. They'll smell it on you every time, and drivers say the surest way to get a bad rating is to make their cars smell like cigarette smoke. Can you change your destination or request stops? Many apps allow you to modify the ride once it's in progress, but it's polite to ask the driver first. Changing the destination is usually fine as long as the driver hasn't accepted a ride after yours. Adding a stop is okay if it's very quick, like a visit to an ATM, but drivers don't like waiting for you to do errands. They don't want to sit in the parking lot while you do your shopping at Walmart. That's 2 rides, not 1, drivers say. All right, well, now we're at the end of our trip. We've been good passengers. We requested the ride when we were ready to get in. We were waiting at the curb for the driver. We introduced ourselves when we got in. We didn't talk loudly, didn't eat, didn't drink, didn't request extra stops, engaged in a little friendly conversation, didn't make a mess. Everything went well, right? There is still one last opportunity for us to earn a 1-star rating, and that is by slamming the door on the way out. And there you go. That is probably the source of my 1-star ratings. I have never brought alcohol in an Uber. I have never had so much as a cup of coffee in my hand in an Uber. A water bottle maybe, but I always take it with me when I leave. Once or twice, I have changed destinations. Like once, I almost got to the airport and realized that I didn't have my passport. So in a panic, I asked the driver to turn around, drive me home, wait 3 minutes, and take me back to the airport. I still missed my flight. Not my best day. But I bet you my 1-star ratings are from slamming the door. I don't do it on purpose. But look, I think you should close the door firmly enough so that both sides know the door is definitely closed. But firm, to me, might be slamming to a driver. And remember, if you do something wrong early in the ride, you can always apologize and be polite during the rest of the trip. But if you slam the door, you annoy the driver at the exact moment he or she is prompted to leave you a rating. And you can't come back from that. If you slam the door when the driver's finger is hovering over the phone ready to give you a rating, you just cannot come back from that. That's 1 star. All right, this was a fun one. Go check your rating. It's the moment of truth. It felt like a personal revelation when I told you mine. 4.90. We've got to get that up. Anyway, see if you're a better passenger than I am. This was Plain English, episode number 789. So if you want to keep learning, check out plainenglish.com/789. We'll be back on Monday with a new topic. I can't wait for it, and I'll see you then. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word, and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.